Backpacking in Faith, a pilgrimage within the Christian community. I'm Katrina.
I'm Liz, and this is our journey.
The highs are just as hard as the buys sometimes.
They are, aren't they?
I feel silly just going, hi, welcome back. Because what if this is their first one?
Okay, well let's pretend like I've just walked in the house. Woo! I'm
Hello?
here! Are you on the toilet again? Yes, I've run out of paper, help me!
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. Put me out. Okay. Anyway, we're back today.
We are back today. I do have a habit of repeating what you say. Like, you'll say yeah, but then when you say something, I'll just repeat.
It's because I say good shit.
Just repeat it like a parrot.
At least you don't go through the conversation the whole way going, yeah, correct, yeah,
I'm just so used to hearing things said like multiple times because I live in a house of male.
Yeah, and young males.
And you have to say things at least 5 times.
It's very frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
I can't remember where we're going with this.
It's my testimony and I'm kind of trying to put it off.
Okay, stop trying to put it off.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
We...
It makes me nervous.
Are we good to start now? Because we can just cut this a little bit out, yeah?
We're good to start.
We're going to use what we
I'll use what I want to use, unless you're editing it.
No.
I'll do what I want.
I'm just checking you got enough.
I got a knife. I'll cut you.
I'm not the boss of you, I know it, okay? So violent. Right. So, your testimony.
How did we start off yours? Did you just jump in? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But I think a good place to start would be to kind of explain your background, how you were brought up. Were you brought up with Christian parents? Your grandparents, were they?
My mom had me when she was really young. She was 17. She had just graduated high school. She was pregnant when she went to prom.
Yeah.
Oh,
was she?
Pictures, yeah.
Oh. Did you have a date?
Yeah, my father.
Oh, really? Excellent.
Yeah. I don't exactly know. I don't really remember much of my childhood, to be honest. I know we lived in Texas because that's what my mom told me, and that's what the pictures show.
Yeah.
My mom moved down to Texas from Pennsylvania. And
God, that's a big switch because it's quite cold in Pennsylvania, isn't it? It's like our sort of weather.
Yeah, she went down there. My uncle was already there, so her brother was there.
Right.
And she was, from what I understand now, she was trying to escape my grandma. Not because my grandma's horrible.
No.
But she is quite controlling. And, my mom was still young. So my grandma thought it'd be better if she raised me. Right. She'd already raised 5 children, so I guess she thought she knew everything. And it would be easier, and she didn't want my mom to miss out on anything, I guess.
Yeah.
That's my assumption, because my mom wanted to be a nurse.
Yeah, well, you can look
age.
at it with a different perspective as a mother now, can't you? You can see why your grandma would have wanted to support your mum so much so that she could live her own life as well as you have a good life. But it can go a bit wrong sometimes,
It did go a bit wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because what happened was my grandparents followed to Texas.
What, they moved to Tesco's? I
to Tesco's? No, not Tesco's.
You can go to Tesco's.
We don't even have a Tesco.
Aw, fun times.
No, they moved. I don't know how long after my mom moved. I guess she was having some settling pains, I would say.
Did your dad go?
No. Oh, no.
How quickly was he out of the scene?
He proposed
while she was pregnant.
With an ultimatum. He said, we'll get married, but you have to have an abortion.
What a horrible human being.
Because he wasn't ready to be a father. And he was being forced to propose to make things right, because that's what
he did in the 70s.
He did. His dad, so he forced him to propose. My dad put that ultimatum on my mom.
That was his little twist.
That was his little twist. It was just like, fine, I'll do it, but I'm not having a kid with it.
Wow.
So my mom said, screw you.
Good for her. Good on your mom.
And that was it for them.
Good.
My dad got away with that because he's a mom's boy. And his mom just let him. She said, no, he's too young to get into that sort of relationship. And
it's not too young to get a woman pregnant, though.
Yeah, he was older as well than my mom.
Was he now?
Yeah.
It's not your textbook childhood, is it? It's not.
No.
It's not what You want to be able to say, like, oh, my mum and dad, they lived together, wasn't life happy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, who can say that? No. Actually, Matt can, my husband can, but I don't know, and yours, you know.
It wasn't textbook, though, because his dad was military, so he was gone a lot.
Okay, so that's difficult.
And he did live with his grandparents because of the whole military thing.
Yeah. I don't think there are many people that have that sort of textbook childhood.
My dad did. Funny enough, my dad had that textbook childhood.
When we met Judy and got to know Judy and her family, I was like, oh no, they've got that textbook childhood and they've got a fantastic adult relationship. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want that. So how long did you stay in Texas for?
7 years. My mom dated
you done the way you were a baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My grandparents moved down.
Yeah.
They followed my mom. I don't know how long. My mom moved into a really sketchy apartment site.
Maybe that's why your grandparents went down.
She was raped.
Your mum was?
Yeah, she was raped while down there.
While you were a baby?
Yeah. And she got pregnant and she aborted that.
Oh gosh, that's so hard.
The apartment got broken into.
Oh my gosh.
The guy came in through the window, broke the window, and put his head through, and she smashed him with a tennis racket. And then, because she lived in a sketchy apartment building, there was some very protective, bigger guys.
Neighbors.
And she said they came over, found out.
Yeah.
She told them what she could. And she doesn't want to think about what happened next because she was sure that something...
They went to find the guy with a tennis racket around his neck still.
Well, no, she kept the tennis racket.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not.
Wow.
Yeah, so she thinks that something might have...
Well, you were a baby because you would have been in the apartment.
Yeah,
what happened?
I was in the apartment.
Jeez.
Yeah. They never found the guy.
The police.
The
authorities never.
The authorities never found the guy.
Yeah.
So she thinks that some of the neighbors might have
found him
first. Yeah. Yeah.
Vigilante justice.
Yeah.
Wow. It's hard to know how to feel about that because, like, as a Christian, you want to say, well, you know, we love the rapist. We think he just acted terribly and he should be punished for it. And you know, let's pray for him. But the human in me wants to go, well, you know, just desserts. Do that to someone, moida him. That was my New York. But I'm not saying that's...
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what happened.
No.
She just knows that...
She never saw him again.
She never saw him again. And the police in Texas called her up and said, do you still want this case open? And she said, yeah. I don't think they'll ever find him because, you know... Everything.
Sleeping with the fishes. Oh, hang on, Texas. No, he's buried under some sand.
He's some oil now.
Oh, no.
Anyhow, so then my grandparents...
We got on a really weird side.
Yeah. My grandparents moved down. My grandpa became an apartment manager. I think they moved to a better apartment. And then my grandma convinced my mom to let them adopt me. So then things get complicated because now my grandparents are my parents and my mom is my sister. But she's still my mom.
You were just raised by your grandparents, weren't you? You know.
Kind of. No, my mom had me a lot of the time.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. Well, she did go out. She worked for Gulf Oil for a while.
Okay.
So she actually did have to go out into
to work
their
away.
Ocean place.
In the Gulf.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I don't know. So I did stay with my grandparents then. But when she was around, I stayed with her.
It's just a bit complicated, but it sounds like you had a lot of people to love you, and that's always good, isn't it? You know. No.
Yeah, I don't really remember. This is all what I remember them talking about, because I don't remember it, obviously. I was too young. I was 7. I do remember being in school. So my mom put me into a Christian school because my birthday fell after the cutoff date.
Yeah.
For public school, and she wanted me in school. So she put me in the Christian school.
Was that still in Texas?
That's in Texas, yeah. And I had, you know those 64 box Crayola crayons?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I had with the sharpener in the back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All mine.
Yeah. And
then my friend borrowed, and now I'm really particular about my crayons.
Still you are.
I'm very particular. I want them in color order.
You're so weird.
and I want all the points sharpened. If you have to tear off the paper, it's got to be torn in a nice, neat circle.
Don't just rip it halfway down and leave it messy.
Yeah, don't leave it messy. Well, she took my crayons.
Yeah.
And over half of them came back with broken tips and completely ripped off paper. Because I like to know the names of the crayons.
I mean, who doesn't want to know if they're colouring with tangerine or sunset?
I need to know these things.
So funny.
I was really mad. That's what I remember.
That's what you remember from your childhood at school.
Yeah, and the choir. Because I don't even remember. I don't know if this is an accurate memory.
Yeah.
But I remember being in the choir.
Yeah.
I don't remember what songs we sang.
Yeah.
And sitting in the church, the choir sat up, and to a side. So
the school had its own church?
The school had its own church.
Yeah.
And I also remember doing a play about the gingerbread man.
Okay. There's a moral story to that, isn't there?
You'll never catch me in the gingerbread man.
Yeah. Don't always trust the fox. Something like that. I can't remember. Heard it a long time
I do not remember a fox.
Yeah, the fox helps the gingerbread man cross the lake. And he's like, stand on my nose. You'll stay out of the water there.
No, I know it in the story.
Right, then.
But I don't think they had it in the play.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know why the gingerbread man was in the play.
It's obviously some sort of moral story, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure Red Riding Hood was in the play as well.
Oh, really?
This is a 6-year-old.
This is a 6-year-old memory, is actually. Yeah, so maybe that you're just conflicting. Maybe you were just so bored in the service that you started making stuff up. This is boring. I'm going to replace this with the gingerbread man.
I'm sorry, but those things they're boring as a child.
Even as a parent, I find them really boring.
And I remember pews being really hard.
Uncomfortable.
But we don't have pews. That church, at least, didn't have pews with sides on them.
Okay.
It was just
hardwood,
rows of hardwood seats.
So you went to the Christian school till how old were you when you left there?
We moved when I was 7.
Okay.
And then we moved to the east coast of Florida.
That was your way of remembering which coast you were on.
It is.
So you went to Florida at about 7.
Yeah. And then went into a different Christian school.
Right.
When I got into that Christian school, I met what would become my best friend at that moment.
Yeah.
Her name was Dawn. And she had a thing for this other kid because they all grew up in the same school. They'd been together already all these years. His name was Judd. And I came in and she got really mad at me. And it was like a Disney drama.
Trampling on her turf, sister.
It was just this little kid drama thing. I had no clue what was going on. I was brand new.
Yeah.
Didn't know any of the rules. Didn't know any of the people. And she's all like, stay away from Judd. He's mine.
Oh my God.
At 7. At 7.
Wow.
I was just like, I don't even know who Judd is. It was ridiculous.
Little girls are crazy. Did you end up with Judd?
No.
Just to spite her for saying you couldn't?
No.
No. That's not something I would do either.
No. I had no interest in boys at all.
No.
I didn't have any interest in boys.
I don't know many 7-year-olds that do.
Well, she did. She was boy crazy. Her father was a pastor. So I think she had a bit of pastor-child syndrome happening.
Yeah. She's looking for that sort of drama outside the house.
I'd only been in her house like once. And I remember she had a pool table.
Yeah. Nice. Job pays well then.
Yeah.
So you stayed in that school till you're how old?
Well, what year would I have been? Let's see. If I started at 4 in kindergarten. So I was in the school on the east coast of Florida for 2 years, I think. So for 3rd and 4th grade. Yes. 3rd and 4th grade at that school.
So you're doing about 10 when you finished?
Is that 10?
I don't know. I don't know how the age works grades-wise.
9.
9.
It's kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. 9.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 5th grade, then we moved to the West Coast and went into another Christian school for 1 year.
How do you think going to a Christian school shaped your view on the world? Do you feel like you were a Christian at that point? Did you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
I don't know. No, I think it's too young to really, truly understand it. when you are immersed in it, and it's all you know,
it's a given, isn't it?
There is no other way of thinking.
Yeah.
So the outside world is it's very sheltered.
Yeah.
It's a very sheltered life when you grow up in a church school. There's no choice. You just taught it.
There's no room for questioning.
Because I didn't have any friends outside of the Christian school, I would have no reason to question. I had no other way of thinking.
Yeah.
It was very...
I don't think it's necessarily
blindfold.
so much that you were too young to question it. Because if you think you're 7, you're being told this at school, and maybe you're being raised at home by Christians or people who are morally upstanding. But, when you see stuff on TV, or you see your family act in a certain way, or you see somebody that acts contrary to what they're saying, as a Christian belief, that would make you question, I think.
I suppose. I guess I just didn't have that.
Yeah.
Until my mom met my first stepdad.
Right. And you were a preteen then? Yeah.
No, I was 7.
Okay.
She met him soon after we moved. Did I mention this makes me nervous?
Yeah. It's fine.
I don't. You know why it makes me nervous? It's because I don't really talk about myself.
No, you don't.
Don't.
No. I know a lot about you, but because
we've
I've known
each
so
other
long.
for so long. But like Judy, she wouldn't know.
No.
Because I don't offer up the information, and no. If I don't get asked it, I won't say it.
Well, a lot of these sort of things are difficult to talk about as well, because when you bring up ancient history, you've got to think about it. And like with your mum, for example, not that was ancient history, she's not that old. But like if you go back to when
vintage,
if you think about your mother being raped, you don't really want to think about that. So you go, okay, I know that happened. I'm just going to bury that and just not ever think about it unless anybody asks me. I'm trying that out. if anybody asks me,
So she met my first stepdad.
Yeah, when you moved to
the East Coast.
The East Coast.
I don't know how long.
Still Florida.
Still Florida. We're in Florida. Right after the move from Texas.
Yeah. So
she meets him. His name is Joe.
We don't like Joe, do we?
We do not like Joe.
No.
Everything.
Joe's a no-go. Sorry, carry on.
I can't say too much because my brother likes him.
Okay.
It's his dad, so.
So your mum had another child.
She had a relationship with him. She got pregnant, and that was a really difficult pregnancy.
Yeah.
She was bedbound for 6 months of it. So
wow.
Basically, right from the beginning.
Placenta or something?
He poked a hole.
Oh, Joe, man.
He poked a hole in the, what is it called?
Placenta?
No, that's the blood bed.
Oh, is it?
He poked a hole in his lining in the water.
Womb.
Yeah, in the womb.
The uterus. No. I'm just saying words now.
He poked a hole in his encasement.
His sack.
And
don't poke holes in your sack, Joel.
And the position, she was leaking
amniotic
fluid. So she had to stay in bed, and that was fine because it was, in this section that when she stood up, it would leak out. But
so
if she
laid
down,
to lie down, gosh, that must have been awful.
Oh, she was miserable.
I bet she was
miserable.
I mean, I do like the sound of it, but I know in reality I get really bored.
She was. Oh no! But my mom is not the type to not work.
Yeah. She's
got a problem.
She's got a busy mentality.
Yes, she's a worker bee.
Yeah.
She needs to work in order to feel some sort of fulfillment.
Yeah. So
laying in bed made her completely miserable. She put
on
a lot of weight.
Felt really useless. You would do, wouldn't you? If that's your mentality. Well, I know from being poorly myself that just lying around is not. When it's very different when you choose to lie around. Yeah.
Plus, she was scared of losing my brother.
Yeah.
So that whole bit was in there as well. So then Joe was starting to be a real dickwad.
Did he live with you guys?
No. We lived with my grandparents. We all lived in the same house.
Right.
It's a lovely house.
Yeah.
And I found out later that the reason that she stayed with him is because he threatened her, saying, if you break up with me, then you won't ever see your son again.
Wow.
You won't ever see this baby.
I mean, that's so common though, isn't it? That's such a controlling tactic, that a lot of men do.
It was horrible. So she was scared to leave because she didn't want to lose my brother, either through a bad pregnancy or through a bad person. So she stayed with him. She wasn't very happy. And I wasn't happy.
Well, when he was around?
Yeah. Then they got married at the courthouse.
She decided to stay with him after he threw a threat like that.
Yeah, well, she was scared. She didn't know what to do.
That's hard. Yeah, I didn't mean that to sound as judgy as it sounded.
Yeah, no, I mean, in hindsight, knowing what she knows about how the law works, he wouldn't have had any say in it.
No.
He would have had nothing.
No. She must have loved him a little bit, though.
Yes. Well, that was
it's
a
a
big problem.
complicated relationship by the sounds of it.
Yeah, she loved my dad as well. But she still stood up to him.
So you lived on the other side of Florida, but you only went to Christian school for a year, didn't you, over there?
Yeah,
so,
we moved because he wanted to move, and then we had to move.
So you're 10 now? You've
10.
been in Christian education until you're 10?
Yes, and then I went to public school.
And that was
a big shock.
Yeah. Was that your choice?
It was my choice, yeah. Yeah, because I didn't want to I didn't want the teacher I had again.
So it was more of a problem. You had a problem with the
I didn't have a problem with the schooling.
With the teacher, but not the education.
Yeah, the education was fine. It was the teacher. No, I'm glad I made the switch. It was a big shock to make that switch.
Yeah. Well, because the environment was so different. Yeah. Like, in my mind, I'm picturing a Christian school to be similar to the only Christian school I've ever had any dealings with, which was the School of the Line, which was fantastic. It was even though it's much smaller than I imagine you went to, it was very supportive and loving and strict, but strict where, people are coming from a loving standpoint. Was your school like that, or was it
the one on the East Coast? It was like that.
Yeah.
The one on the East Coast was bigger. The one on the West Coast was really small.
Right.
So it had multiple grades in one classroom, and it wasn't a very big classroom.
Right. And still at that...
And then, of course, I went in, and everyone in that school had already been
that's
together.
So hard, isn't it?
Then when I moved to the public school, a lot of the public, because it's a lot bigger, public schools are a lot bigger, and then you have to go to different classes. It's a big change.
Yeah. Finding
out the schedule, and it wasn't a particularly big school, and a lot of those kids grew up together.
Right.
So I kept going.
I preaching to the choir. I know what you went through.
Walking in and everyone knowing each other.
Oh, you're the new one. Nobody knows anything about you.
And
all those bonds already formed.
I was not. I wouldn't say I wasn't pretty. I wasn't. I wasn't a pretty kid.
Aww.
I was fat.
Aww.
I had the great big, 80s glasses.
I had those. That was a fashion. It was a fashion at the time. You can't. Did you have a mullet?
No, I had the feathered.
You didn't feel. You felt like an ugly duckling at the time.
I did. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what happened to the ugly duckling?
They grew up ugly.
No, they emerged into a beautiful swan. Yeah.
I'm beautiful on the inside.
Oh, you're lovely. Don't be so. Stop fishing for compliments.
I need them. No. As a kid, well, I had the great big glasses. My eyesight was crap.
Yeah.
My mom liked to crimp my hair.
Lovely. At least you didn't have a mullet.
No, I did not have a mullet.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, but you were skinny and you had a beautiful smile.
No. I have a wonky smile, a wonky eye. I had surgery. Big plastic glasses and a mullet. And it was the 80s, so I was poor.
Yeah, we weren't. That's why I had the big glasses, because I had to go to the second-hand sort of eyeglass shop to get cheaper glasses.
Sucks being a poor kid, doesn't it?
It sucks being a poor kid.
In fact, I had a clear pair for quite a while. They weren't clear. From an angle, they looked brown.
The frame?
Yeah. Ugh. A clear plastic frame.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Proper rank.
That's gross.
And actually, for a while, I wore an eye patch.
So. You were a pirate.
Sexy. Oh, dear Lord.
So I went from one teacher who was horrible to a whole load of teachers who were horrible.
Yeah, and you didn't feel accepted because,
Yeah, it was. And then my friend from that left the Christian school at the same time.
Yeah.
And she went to the same public school as I did, because in Florida at least, you go by zip code.
Yeah.
So you don't get a choice where you go to school. You don't fill out any forms like here.
Okay.
You just look in the paper.
Yeah.
Look at your zip code. and you see what school you're going to.
Okay, fair enough.
It's that simple.
So she moved at the same time?
Yeah, she moved to the same time. And then, again, with the drama, all of a sudden she was like, I don't want to be your best friend anymore. Well, I didn't know you were my best friend. I just thought we were friends.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, whoa, don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. You're not my best friend.
And then she had these other people come up to me. And she's like, stay away from...
Oh, my gosh.
The girl's name, blah. I'm friends with her now. And
so you're not going to mention her name?
No, I'm not going to mention her name. She knows who she is.
Well, we know who you are.
And I just had no clue what was going on.
Oh, that's
and everyone
so
wanted
mean.
They all wanted to fight me, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, Katrina, that makes me so sad. So school was pretty shit then, wasn't it?
Shit,
really?
Yeah, and then I had a teacher.
And your home life wasn't fantastic because your mum had just married somebody you didn't like.
Yeah, no, it all went to crap.
And you'd moved around a lot. Do you think at that point being a Christian had any sort of weight? Did it pull you back down? Could you sort of like, was it something to fall back on?
No, because we didn't go to church.
So
we only went to church when it was required, because when you join a Christian school, you have to go to the church every so often.
So it's less of a Christian faith you had as a child, and more of a Christian sort of community. You weren't part of the...
It was an obligation to do stuff rather than a want. And my family never had a want to join in on that.
What a shame.
In fact, my mom didn't want she really didn't want anything to do with it. Being a single mom.
Yeah, she was afraid of being judged.
She was judged.
What?
Yeah, they would openly say horrible things to her.
Do you know, that makes me ashamed as a Christian label. I say many times, don't call me a Christian, call me a follower of Christ, because you know what, the label of Christianity is just, it's tainted by judgmental, insert swear word here.
Yeah, it all went crap after that. My mom was having issues. I hated my brother. Do you know what? It's not that I hated him. I hated all the change that came because of him.
Yeah, because your mum got pregnant, she ended up marrying him, and
then we moved, and I had to move to school again, and then there was a whole split between my grandparents and my mom, and then my stepdad was horrible, and then of course all the attention, and on Christmas, my mom saw the picture of this, and she thinks it's hilarious, and I still hold a grudge with it.
Yeah.
For her, not for my brother, because he was only a baby.
Yeah.
Sat with my brand new Christmas dress, never worn before Christmas dress.
You're angry about this. I can tell.
I am angry about this still. She gets me on a chair for a Christmas photo. Fine. Puts Joel on my lap. Fine. He throws up all over.
Oh no!
I'm 10.
Did you throw him on the floor and flounce off?
No, I started crying. No, it's fine. And she made me wear that dress.
The vomit covered dress.
She cleaned it up with wipe.
Was
but you know what
baby?
That's like.
Oh, yeah.
The smell doesn't go away.
And even if the smell did go away,
you still have
your brand new dress is soiled.
Yeah, well, I still had the stain on it.
Yeah.
You could still see where he threw up on me. So I was wearing a jacket, and in the picture, I'm covering the stain with my jacket.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
Okay, well, think about it this way. Imagine if Ryan was sat down on the sofa and Elijah...
I would have him change. I wouldn't let him wear the clothing.
What if you didn't have another nice Christmas dress? If he was wearing a dress, I would question your parenting, because
I wouldn't care. I would let him change. If he
Did
was
you want to change?
Yes!
Okay, so you missed that bit out.
No, I didn't want to wear that dress. My mom made me wear that dress.
Yeah. Oh, that was mean.
She's like, no, we don't have time for you to change. We don't have time for this.
Aww.
We don't have time. Just deal with it. But looking back, I understand she was working and Joel never slept.
Yeah.
She would stay up all night driving him around in the car.
Oh my gosh.
For him to sleep. Just to come home, have enough time to get ready, to go to work. And that she was dealing with Joe at the same time, who was very manipulative and an abusive drunk. So, fine. But I still reserve the right to be mad about it.
So life was pretty challenging. So when your mum left...
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with Christianity, really.
After that, yeah.
After that. I kind of just dropped it.
So
I still had those morals in the background, but I didn't really think about it.
No real faith.
Yeah,
no, you were living by.
I didn't pray to God.
No.
I didn't really think about God.
No.
No one said to me. And one time, our neighbor had a dog, and they were quite abusive. It wasn't very nice. So my friend and I, we put a note in his mailbox. We didn't know that that's against the law.
What, to put a note in someone's mailbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have known that either.
My grandma comes up and says, I've just talked to Julie, our next door neighbor. She decided not to press charges. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She knows she put that note in her mailbox and she's really upset about it. It's illegal to use someone's mailbox for anything other than, if you're a proper personnel person.
What a ridiculous law. What about,
if it's a letterbox on a door, you can
Okay.
stick stuff in.
Okay.
Like what we have here.
Okay.
But a mailbox is postal property.
Okay.
I was like 12 years
What
old.
did your note say?
It wasn't anything horrible.
No. Yeah, well, you saw something morally correct.
Your dog's in
and
pain.
you wanted to do something.
Basically, in 12-year-old language.
Yeah.
Just take care of your dog.
Maybe the woman just didn't like it being pointed out that she was there.
No, because it turned out, in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
that she was in an abusive relationship with
Right.
her husband. That was the only time my grandma ever brought up God and morality.
What did she
to
say?
Me. She said, God's watching,
God
like he's Santa Claus or something.
is watching you.
God wouldn't be happy with what you did or something like that.
But they had faith themselves, didn't they? They had some sort of...
We never really discussed it.
Yeah.
I don't know what my grandma believed. The only thing I know about my grandfather is he had a near.
He nearly lived.
He nearly lived.
But he didn't.
He nearly died. I didn't hear about it from him.
Right.
I heard about it from my mom. My grandpa had a lot of near-death experiences.
He's been
several
walking
things.
a tightrope, your granddad, his whole life, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was nearly caught by the Germans. He was hidden all night while they passed by. Yeah, so he had a lot of moments.
Yeah.
But this one where he died, I don't remember exactly. I don't know if it was the Netherlands one or a back surgery or something else.
But none of these near-death experiences that shaped his faith, you didn't know about when you were a child.
No, I had no idea about it as a kid.
So, like, literally, your whole childhood was very almost atheistic because.
Yeah.
I know that seems a bit odd to say if you're going to a Christian school, but if you're going to a Christian school and it's literally just, if you have John and Peter and Paul in a boat, how many boats would it take to carry Jesus? I'm obviously no good at maths or English, but...
No, that's a good way of putting it, that I went to Christian school out of necessity, not out of faith.
So, I know your family were involved in a Mormon church for a short period of time, weren't they? When your grandfather was in a lot of pain and suffering. They knocked on the door and said...
he was still moving around doing stuff, so it was just the beginning of his decline. But once he started declining, it went pretty rapid.
So, the Mormons got their foot in the door.
The Mormons got their foot in the door, yeah. Then what happened was my mom was working with some Mormons.
Okay.
Working with one Mormon.
Okay.
And that Mormon then converted a woman that she was friends with.
Yeah.
So then she had two ganging up on her. And they're nice people.
Yeah. And your mum would have been, I imagine, if she's with a guy who's...
she wasn't with him anymore.
Oh, she wasn't with him anymore?
No.
Was she alone?
She divorced my first stepdad. That took ages. And that was horrendous. And she met... I don't know. She was with a lot of guys short term, I think. So, well, not a lot. She's not a slut.
She's a hoe for show.
No,
not really. Sorry, Katrina's mum. I know you're not really a hoe bag. I like your daughter. No, also joking. So the Mormons kind of quickly had an effect on your grandfather and your
I don't
mother.
really understand how that worked. I was working, so I was out of the house.
Yeah.
And going.
So you escaped their clutches.
Yeah, I wasn't really around when they came around.
Send you off to Salt Lake City and become somebody's sixth wife.
And I wasn't really interested.
No.
Like I said, I dropped all of the Christianity stuff. And as I got older, that's when I started to question everything.
So you weren't really involved with
I just
the
thought
Mormons
it was really
or the
odd.
Christianity. Yeah, it just didn't sit well with you, I guess.
No, it was just it was odd. They were nice people, but the whole Mormon ideology.
It's uncomfortable.
It was weird for me.
Well, what was happening?
Because I wasn't around for the baptism. I think I was over here.
Were you invited?
I think I was over here.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't that long ago then.
Well, it would have been with my ex, so 12 years.
Yeah.
Because I only saw pictures.
I'm picturing a much younger you, but I guess you're not that old already, are you? So
Oh, I feel old.
You look it. That point in your life where you were like questioning God, what was making you questioning God? Was it when were you over here when your grandfather passed away?
Yeah.
So was it around that sort of stage?
No, it was that end of teenage years angst that I know everything. I don't need your help.
A common teenager attitude.
Yeah. And I was a bit emo at one point, and
I can't imagine you being emo. Did you dye your hair black?
No, I didn't. I remember my family came down one year. I was going through that whole phase. And I had a deck of tarot cards. And I had only bought them because they were pretty.
Yeah.
I didn't really think anything else of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just liked their pictures. They were pretty.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they meant.
No.
I was just playing around with them like a normal stack of cards. And my cousin came over and she was looking at it. And her mom freaked out.
Really?
Complete freak out.
Did she confront you with it, did she?
I had no idea what she was freaking out about. I was just like, it's just paper. Because in my mind, something only has power if you let it have power. Mm. And I still feel that way.
So do I to a certain extent.
And I understand now that, tarot deck comes with a darker spiritual energy.
Yeah.
But if you don't give that darker spiritual energy any power, it's not going to have any power.
No. And what's more, if you're completely oblivious to it and you're literally going, well, I just like them because they're pretty. I mean, I guess maybe they could have led on to darker things. Maybe that's why she was concerned.
Maybe. She was a closet Christian. I had no idea. Yeah, no, I had no idea. I don't know much about my family at all. When they go...
Seems so.
To be... Yeah, it turns out, my uncle is Christian. My aunt died, and he started going back to church. Going back to church is what Mom said, going back. I didn't even know they went.
Okay.
I had no clue. My mom didn't even know that my uncle went to church. When he said he was going back to church, She was like, when did you start going?
It's funny because, sometimes your friends know you better than your family do. Sometimes it's harder to open up to your family, isn't it? My whole concept of family is completely different to the sort of textbook thing. Family is relationships, and you open up to people in relationships. So blood really doesn't count for anything. I guess if you don't have a close relationship with any of that family, why would you particularly open up to them?
I never got a chance to open up to my family.
They live too far away?
No, I've got family in Texas and family in Pennsylvania, and we lived in Florida, so that is a pretty big gap. Yeah. But my role was not to be a talker. My role was to be a supporter.
It's funny because, you've talked a lot today, almost an hour worth.
I know. Now I just don't shut up.
It's like, oh my God.
I still don't share much, but I just don't say much. I just say a lot of shit.
That's not true. That's not true. So when you moved over to the UK with your ex, you weren't a believer then, and...
No. I didn't even have Christian vows at our wedding.
Was that a conscious choice?
It was a conscious choice because I knew I wasn't supposed to marry him, but I did because I was escaping.
You've been over here how many years?
12 years.
12 years.
But I've only been with my husband 10. So I was with my ex 2 years.
You weren't a Christian when you got with Matt either, really, were you?
Not really. I mean, I had more Christian values than Matt because he didn't grow up with any of it at all.
Yeah. I think Christian values and being a Christian obviously are completely different because our laws and the society that we live in is based on Christian
so
values.
That's all he had.
Yeah.
He just had the laws of society. He didn't have any foundation of Christianity.
Whereas although you didn't grow up in faith, I think you probably had that foundation from going to the Christian schools.
Yeah, I would say it gave a foundation for how you should act to people.
Yeah.
And what forgiveness is. So Matt doesn't really understand forgiveness in the sense that I do.
Right.
When I met Matt and we got together, I was still married to my ex.
But not actually in a relationship with him?
Not in a relationship, no. And then got pregnant almost straight away because I didn't think I could get pregnant. I didn't get pregnant in 2 years.
I remember you saying that. You didn't think you could have a child and then whoop, there we go.
It was 2 years I was with my ex and we didn't use protection and never even a scare. It was almost 3 months being with Matt, bam, pregnant. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do.
You were living together at that point?
Well, yeah, we were living at his parents' house. His parents had just gotten back from Australia. Mm-hmm. Awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm basically your new daughter-in-law, and I'm carrying your first grandchild, and I'm living in your house.
We didn't tell them.
Did you have a nice holiday?
We didn't tell them for a very long time.
What, until you started showing?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, we moved out before we told them. And obviously they can do the math.
Yeah.
It was just awkward. And that was a very difficult year.
Yeah.
We were just together.
Yeah.
And then we had a newborn on top of that.
Ooh, very challenging.
That was very challenging.
Yeah, and plus all your family's over in the States, so you didn't have any supports of your own. I mean, you had Matt's parents who were fantastic.
They were still a bit tenuous at that moment, at that time, because he had just started to have a relationship with his dad again. It was basically just us.
Yeah.
So I was very lonely, and then I couldn't work because we couldn't afford childcare. My job didn't pay enough. His job didn't pay enough to support childcare on top of that. And I didn't drive, so it was awkward to get to childcare.
It wasn't an option even working, was it?
And Matt didn't want to put our kids into childcare.
No.
His choice was that he wanted one of us to stay home, and he earned more than I did at that time.
Yeah.
So
it made sense.
It made sense for me to stay home.
And then number 2 came along.
Yeah.
Quite quickly, actually, really.
Well, yes, because I thought, this is really easy. Because my first was really easy. I could have another. I'll have another.
How wrong.
And then I thought, when he's about a year old, we'll have another. And then as he got towards a year old, no, I don't want another. And my body didn't get the memo. And basically, when he was about a year old, I got pregnant.
Surprise!
And I was like, oh crap, how do I tell Matt this?
And that's when I met you, actually, wasn't it? When you...
Yeah, it was only, 2 months?
Yeah, you were just pregnant with the middle one.
Yeah.
And
so I met Judy because I went to the
playgroups
with my first. I didn't meet you at the playgroup. I met you at the, what do they call it? A Connect group?
Yeah.
Some Christian thing.
What
but I only went for the free creche, I'm going to be honest.
The Becoming a Christian course.
Yes. Yeah. I only went for the creche.
So when we were on that course, did you sort of get any benefit from the course?
Yeah, you.
Obviously,
meeting you.
Obviously, I am the grand prize. But
that was it. I don't remember what the course was about. I don't remember any specifics about the course.
No.
I remember questioning a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you arguing a lot.
I remember arguing a lot. I don't remember what about. I think I just wanted to argue, to be
think
honest.
you just wanted to argue. I think because you were at home with the baby all the time.
Yeah. Adult conversation.
Adults! I'm just going to keep this conversation going. Keep it lively.
You know where you're Matt? Where she's like, oh yeah, bring your Matt along. It's fine if he wants to argue. That's where I was at that point, where I would question absolutely everything.
Yeah.
How do you know that that's real? How do you know that that's what happened? How do you know what they wrote is what they actually wrote and hasn't been translated wrong throughout the centuries?
Yeah. So after that course, so you didn't really feel like that was a spiritual sort of time of growing for you. You were still pretty much the same as you had been.
Yeah.
But then we started meeting quite regularly, not just as friends, because we were meeting regularly as friends, but then we started reading a book as a group together.
When did we started going to the evening Bible study? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I don't remember what part of that relationship when in the time frame. I don't remember when that happened, but I questioned a lot.
It was quite a while. I think it was probably a good year easily.
It was a good dip my toe in to see what I'm getting into sort of deal. And then I remember you getting baptized, and you got up and you were just joyous, and I was like, Well,
I was joyous because it was cold and the water was like ice, and probably somebody put a towel around me. So I started to feel my limbs.
No. I specifically remember when you came up out of the water, you were just beaming.
Cool.
So, because I was inside.
And you were like, yeah,
it was too cold
I want some of that. Yes, you did stay inside with the baby. I remember that.
It was too cold.
Come on.
I thought, you're crazy doing that outside. It was too cold. I was staying inside. Everything was just going, I guess, status quo along.
Yeah.
And then you had the whole Canada thing, and you left. Before you left, you told Judy,
take care of Katrina.
Yeah. And then... and
then you felt like she didn't. You felt like she let you down quite a lot at the time.
When did we have our argument?
Yeah, we had a falling out, didn't we?
God. Was that after Canada?
No. Yes. Sorry, yes, it was, yeah.
While you were in Canada, I had that miscarriage.
I remember you saying it was awful.
Yeah, it's just like 1 week shy. I was 1 week shy of 3 months.
It's 2012, that was.
That was difficult because that was only a couple weeks before my birthday. And then we had already arranged to go out, and she just didn't. They did go out.
Yeah.
They still went. We made arrangements, and I said yes to everything. And then on the day, she assumed I changed my mind and didn't come and get me. But didn't ask. She didn't ask if I changed my mind. I was there, sat, waiting, ready for her to pick me up. And time ticks on and on and on.
You've
and
had
Matt's
the
like...
miscarriage by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was only a couple weeks after.
Yeah.
And Matt goes, well, where is she? And I said, I don't know. He goes, well, is she coming? I don't want to leave you alone.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know.
I was in Canada, by the way, just so you know. If I wasn't, I would have picked your ass up. And...
It is what it is. Then she came over, and then she started apologizing, and I was just bawling. I said, you just left me, and you forgot about me. I don't know how you can do that. Why would you assume something like that?
Yeah.
You know, I was really angry at her. So that was a falling out, just kind of cut ties. I'm not a 3 times you're out sort of person. You pissed me off once. That's pretty much it. That's the way I am. That's the way I'm built. I just
used to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I am more forgiving now. I wasn't very forgiving then. Because that was it. Yeah. I didn't have anything to do with them for ages. Her and Irene. Even though she apologized, she came over. I was just so mad that she would assume. You
were hurt, but you weren't just hurt. You were hurting from the miscarriage, and you had nobody there to support you. And it was like one of the shittiest times in your life. And that was the time when you needed people around you. But not being a fantastic communicator yourself, I think maybe you wouldn't have been able to say to people, help. I need help.
I don't think I can say it now.
I need support. I need love. I'm going through the shittiest time, and I need help. And not that you should have had to say that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I wrestled a lot with God after that because it was horrible. I didn't do anything wrong for a miscarriage.
No.
And just everything that happened was horrible. And then you came back.
Did you feel punished at the time, like God was punishing you, or you just didn't understand it, or?
I just didn't understand it. I didn't feel like I was being punished. I felt I was mad. And then you came back, and after you came, I think I just put it all on the back burner because it took me years of wrestling.
Yeah.
With the whole thing.
I know. You never dealt with it. That's the problem. You kind of just put it on the back of the shelf, but it was still there.
Yeah, and I had the visa thing to worry about as well.
Yeah, that was massively stressful. That had been stressful since I'd known you. That was stressful.
Yeah.
So you had years of built-up stress and anxiety and having no solution to the immigration issues. You had the similar sort of situation with the miscarriage. You had no solution, no sort of... Not that there is a solution, but no resolution to... You were pretty low, weren't you?
I was. And then it just got lower because the whole... Yeah, so then we had a big falling out.
Which is basically me not being able to handle with your sort of low mood. And for a lot of years, that is.
It was
a couple of years. And also,
it was right after the miscarriage.
Yeah.
Then everything just started piling on. I couldn't deal with both. Couldn't deal with miscarriage. Multiple miscarriages. Yeah. That was just the longest I'd gone. Because I had another after that as well, but earlier. I think I had like 4 in that time.
Yeah, wow.
I couldn't deal with that and the visa stuff. And it was right when you told me what you told me. Well, right after that, everything started to get put in place for the visa.
Yeah.
So I think if you had just held on.
I think it had to happen. Because I don't deal well with confrontation. So the fact that I managed to be able to get up to that point where I could say, hey, what I said, which I said in a very wrong way, and I should have definitely not have put it the way I did. I felt almost responsible for you.
Why?
In a sense. Because I knew that you didn't feel that you could rely on Judy.
No.
And I knew you were very reclusive. And I knew Matt was maybe struggling a little bit with the boys. Not struggling, but, he's a man. So he's trying to work and raise his kids and be a husband and a friend, and I felt like you needed me. And,
right.
And
did I put that pressure on you? Because I don't remember.
No, I'm a fixer.
Okay.
I'm a fixer.
Because that doesn't seem like something I would do.
No. Well, because I love you. You know, you're. I've known you for a long time, and even at the time, even when I had known you for a short period of time, because obviously years have passed. You know, I loved you. You're my friend. I thought of you as a sister from another mister, and I wanted to help and I wanted to support you. And I'm a fixer. It's in my nature to try and fix stuff. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't help you. And you're just so low and you can't help yourself and I can't deal with this. And I was dealing with my own shit and then I just lost my shit. But I think in retrospect, it had to happen because actually, I'm talking from a personal point of view now. If I'm here trying to fix your situation, I mean, I was constantly like, well, what if you tried this? Or what if you did this? You know, suggestions. That's not what I should have been doing. I should have been going, wait on God. Look to God. God will fix it. If I hadn't taken myself out of the picture, I would have continued to try, whereas I shouldn't have been continuing to try. So it's not helpful for you.
No, that wasn't helpful for me at that point because everything you were suggesting were things I couldn't do or have already tried. And every time you suggested it made me feel like I was a failure.
So that's maybe another reason why, you know, we had to walk our separate ways for a while, you know, because my friendship to you wasn't helpful to you and it wasn't helpful to me. So I think it happened for a reason. I mean, I'm sad that it happened in one way because actually I was a total coward before. If you said anything, because you, not so much anymore, but you used to be quite abrupt. You're a lot softer these days. But you would just say something exactly how you wanted to say it, even if it wasn't quite how you meant it. And I was a sensitive little thing, you know, so I'd go, oh, I don't like that. But instead of saying, oh, what do you mean? Oh, how do you mean? Do you mean to say it like that? I would just go, oh, right, okay. And then just take it away and go, I don't know how to deal with this. Whereas now we're in a position where if you say something, I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Read my face. And you read my face a lot better these days. A lot more expressive, do you think? You look like you're about to...
No, I'm just trying to remember.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It's not important. It's just...
So we had our thing.
Yeah.
Then I was just me and Matt and the boys
for
ages. And I remember at night I would just feel like I was constantly in my head rolling around this idea of God because at that point I'd had more knowledge put in as an adult from the Bible studies and the books that we've read and everything. If they're Christian, why are they acting like this? That's not very Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're human and miscarriage, angry, and I'm really mad at God. But how can I be mad at God if he doesn't exist?
Yeah.
So he must exist if I'm mad at him.
Yeah.
And if he exists and I'm mad at him, what does it say about me? I mean, these are big
questions.
Big questions, which is why it took me so long. It honestly, when in the Bible where it says Israel?
Yeah.
Israel.
Where he's wrestling
where
with
he's
God.
Wrestling with God. I didn't understand that when I first read it. Wrestling with God. What does he mean, wrestling with God? I understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it now. That whole story now has perspective from what I've gone through. Because that is how I felt. The way it's described in that passage is how I felt. I felt like I was physically wrestling with God every single day.
Well, how long did that continue on for?
That was years.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until I got pregnant again and we moved here.
And he's now 2, so it's about 3 years ago.
We moved here. I was still wrestling a bit. When I got pregnant, I was just going through that whole, oh my God.
Yeah.
Experience has not been so good, so I'm a bit scared now.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything. I think I even waited to tell Matt for ages.
I was amazed you waited to tell people this long, because I remember you were about 4 months along when you told me, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I waited.
Why are you waiting this long?
I waited so long. Because I had so many that...
Well, I know that now.
I just didn't trust it.
No.
I remember I was in the shower, and as I was taking a shower, I would be hit with all of this crap. And everything just started making sense. And I would just say, and it's so cliche, but I did. I would pray in the shower. I actually fell to my knees in the shower and said, forgive me, God.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
crying.
At least the shower washed it all away. I mean, now there's nothing you can do about your face.
So I had several moments like that.
Yeah.
I was done with it, and anytime anything hit, I was just like, no, this is God's. No.
Yeah.
I've asked for forgiveness. I'm not going to keep thinking on it anymore.
Keep prostrating yourself.
And I would say that's when I
became a Christian.
Yeah. Where everything changed for me.
You were a completely different person. Emotionally, spiritually, as a person, you're just completely altered. It's completely changed who you are.
And maybe because I had that in the shower, maybe that's why I don't feel so compelled to have a baptism.
Maybe.
I don't feel like it's needed.
Yeah.
Water.
Well, I read a book where a woman baptized herself because it was too risky to do it anywhere else, and she didn't feel like she needed a baptism afterwards.
Maybe I've already been baptized.
I think falling to your knees in the shower and crying out to God it paints such a powerful image. I'm not picturing it, you in the shower, but you're exposed, before God, and you're kneeling down. I mean, there's no more powerful description of how you come to let God in your life. I mean, you couldn't be any more exposed mentally, physically, emotionally. You came to God, and I think being so open at that point.
You so get the image out of your head. I'm sorry. And pregnant.
That just leaves you open to be so spirit-filled, so filled with God. You're not just going, well, you can just come in this little bit of my life, God. You can have this little bit. You're like, hey, you have it all.
Yeah, I even gave Elijah, which is a whole other...
You just said his name.
I did. I didn't pick that name.
No. You were given it?
Matt picked that name. And he didn't know it was from the Bible.
Didn't he?
No. Not until he looked it up. And then he realized it was from the Bible. And he stuck with it. So...
Yeah.
Elijah's very...
Oh, he's lush.
He's so filled lush. With joy. When you look... And, he's so cute. I have him say...
Does it mean gift from God?
I don't know.
I hope it does.
I don't know. But he's so cute. He is my gift from God. I kind of feel biblical. I kind of, gave him to God before he was even born.
Actually, it means my God is Yahweh. My God is God.
He's got no choice now.
Oh, fab.
He's stuck.
He's lush.
So that's I went through a lot of pain before getting to that point. It's not as easy.
No.
Not everyone's going to come to God in the same way. Sometimes you have to go through a lot of pain to get to the point where you're able to accept. And you know what? Even though while I was going through the whole visa thing, it was difficult the first time. The second time it was easier because I gave up everything.
Give it all to God, yeah.
Too stressful otherwise.
It was a massive turnabout because all of a sudden solutions were coming without you having to batter yourself for a solution. God just provided, didn't he?
Maybe I could claim sanctuary because of Trump.
Yeah, I do. I'm afraid of being penalised in my own country. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Don't think so. At least I didn't cry as much as I thought I was going to.
You did cry a bit. You should have bought tissues. You're probably going to cry again every time you edit it. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine what going through all that was like though. I mean, I tell you what I would say though. I'm really glad that you're a Christian. And you're my sister in Christ because I wouldn't want to go to heaven without you because I think you're fantastic.
Everything does give you a different perspective.
It does, yeah.
On relationships as well. The whole thing.
So I think we have to wrap it up now because I have to do the school run.
School run? I don't have to do the school run. What are we doing next?
I think we're going to talk about where we get our input for our spiritual feeding, what we choose to listen to on podcasts and music and that sort of stuff. Was that what we were going to discuss?
Yeah, we're going to touch on some of these resources that we use at the moment.
Yeah.
And what we're liking for spiritual fill up our oil station, I guess.
Yeah. Fill up our backpack.
Yes, we gotta fill up our backpack with stuff.
Yeah.
That is God related.
Fantastic. Well, we'll catch you next time.
Catch you later.
Alright, bye-bye.
Alligator.
Yeah, you try to have a laugh. We're not doing this again.